I hope we can get there before the exit. Unless there's no. And get on the floor for you. And this engine is actually tuned by Lotus. So, very cool. What's up everyone, welcome to this POV review by AutoTopNL. My name is Max and today we are switching it up. We're starting at the AUTOBAN today. And we are doing so with this Toyota Yaris GRMN. So let's get that out of the way. GRMN. Gazoo Racing, tuned by the Meister of the Nürburgring. That is what it stands for. It is quite a mouthful. And we're starting here because, you know, you always want to see that Autobahn stuff from us. And, well, with such a small, nimble car, you need a small, curvy road. And I think I've got a cool road in mind, so we're going to take it there after the Autobahn. And well, this is why this car is special. I will tell you that right now at the beginning. This is a special car because it is supercharged. It has a 1.8 liter supercharged engine with 212 horsepower and 250 newton meters. But that means that it's so rev happy, and you have to keep it going. You have to keep it at the top of the rev range to get that power. 0 to 100, 6.4 seconds. Top speed limited at 230 kilometers an hour. And it's actually quite stable for such a small car. Not bad at all. I hope we can get there before the exit. Unless this... no. Alright, well, close enough. All these cars will always have a 6-speed manual gearbox. And... well, that's a good thing because it really fits this car, and it is a really, really good manual gearbox. It has a very short throw, it's very direct. It also has a Torsen limited slip diff, so we are going to have some fun on that little road later on. It also has a very nice clutch pedal. It has a very short travel and it's quite heavy, which means there's a lot of feel to it. And that's basically how this car feels. The steering feel is really nice as well. Quite heavy, but really nicely weighted. And because everything is so well put together and well weighted and well developed, you don't need a DSG gearbox. Because you are your own DSG gearbox. Human DSG. So quick. Of course, this is still a Toyota Yaris, so you know, I'm sitting quite high up. We have these very cool seats, but they are really high and they are very supportive. They are very sporty themselves, but the position of the seats is not that sporty. 227. Ah, another fan. 229. Come on, 230. Nice. The steering wheel is also a bit weird. It's from a Toyota GT86, but it's a bit far away and it's a bit tilted, so I feel like I'm driving a bus. But all in in all, I mean, for such a small car, with this amount of power, you know, it's not that heavy. It is quite fast actually, and it feels a bit like an old school hothatch. And you know, I'm really looking forward to taking it to that little road. So let's head there now. I mean, you've seen the top speed, you've seen how it gets there, you've heard it. Let's go. So here we are, a nice narrow road with a lot of curves, so we're going to drive it that way in a minute. I'm just going to show you the outside as well, because it is very recognizable, and once you see one of these, you know it is a GRMN Yaris. Well, let's start with the way it looks. It has these Gazoo Racing decals on it, those black and red stickers. It's a no-cost option to get them removed, so don't worry if you think that's too shouty or too childish. You can get them removed. But one thing I really like is that red sticker down there at the front bumper. It gives it a really sporty look. And of course, Toyota Gazoo Racing has been around for a while, and if you follow motorsports, you know that they compete in the WEC World Endurance Championship and in the WRC World Rally Championship. And these decals sort of have to remind you of the fact that they in fact compete in those classes. What else? We've got 17-inch BBS wheels with 4-piston brake calipers, front and rear. It has a lot of black details as well, so the mirrors, the grille, these little eyebrows, these little winglets with the fog lights, GRMN badge. It has a black roof as well, some stickers, and quite a large spoiler at the rear, also in black. It also has a diffuser in black with that central exhaust pipe. And well, it does look quite sporty actually, but you still see that, you know, the Yaris, it's quite a small car, but it's quite high, so they had to really improve the center of gravity, and they've done that by lowering it by about 25 millimeters. It also has stiffer springs, it has sucks, performance dampers, so there's some serious hardware going on here. And here we have the 1.8 liter 4-cylinder supercharged engine with a little GRMN badge, limited edition, number 19 of 400. That is number 19 of 400 in Europe. So there are 600 of these, 400 in Europe and 200 in Japan. And of those 400, about a third of those are right-hand drive. So they are for the UK market. And this engine is actually tuned by Lotus, so very cool. Once we go inside, it gets a little bit less exciting though. I already told you about these seats. They are really cool, they look very cool. Alcantara, very supportive, high bolsters both on the lower part and the upper part, very firm, and they are really good seats. And I believe they come from something in Japan, something like a sports car in Japan that we don't get here. But one problem is that this seat is mounted quite high. There's this bulge, and the seat itself is quite high as well, as you can see. So the seating position is really high, and that sort of spoils your driving experience a little bit, because you're already in quite a tall car. I mean, the amount of headroom I have in this little car is insane, even with these seats that are quite high up. So that high center of gravity is noticeable both when you drive it, but also when you sit in it and when you look at it. It's just a little bit weird. But that's just because, you know, the Yaris as a base is just a little bit of a grandpa car. I mean, it is a bit of an old people's hatchback, and you know, Toyota just decided, well, okay, we're going to make this super mini with the Yaris, and that that means you're limited to, you know, the base. But once you start driving, everything sort of disappears. It's just one of the most engaging hot hatches you can buy today. And as I said, it reminds me of that old school hot hatch, because you have quite a linear power delivery, because you have a supercharger instead of a turbocharger. So you have to keep those revs up. You have to think about your gear before you enter a corner, because if you are one gear too high, you can't rely on the torque of a turbocharger to get you through the corner. Pedals are not ideal for heel and toe shifting. They are a bit too far apart. You know, maybe that's just because I'm a bit too tall as well, but oh, but this drivetrain, this gearbox, it's just delicious. It is really, really, really good, and much better than I was expecting. Yes, in here it's a bit sad. All this plastic, you know, the Yaris isn't really that exciting to begin with. There hasn't been, you know, nothing really has been done in here to make it any more special, apart from the steering wheel and the seats. But that just reminds you, let's get this key out of here. It just reminds you of the fact that everything they had in terms of budget for this car, it went to, you know, handling, performance, and I'd have that rather than a fancy interior. Oh, you can actually hear the supercharger really well when you... I hope you can hear it. It is, especially in first and second gear. Oh, what a lovely sound. It's just so unique. Yeah, that's what I meant. When quick direction changes follow up on each other, so you have, you know, left, right, or you really feel that high center of gravity, that it starts to roll a bit. And that's just because, you know, they had to do it with the car they had. So I think that if they would have decided to build this car from the ground up, it would be lower and it would be not as grandpa-ish as this Yaris currently is. But, you know, it's very clear that Toyota really wants to improve their image. They're competing in the WEC and WRC. They want to exude that performance, and that's clearly what this label is for. We are going to get some more GRMN cars. The GRMN cars will be a limited production, and there will also be some GR cars. So Gazoo Racing will be a performance label, which just, you know, regular, maybe not that super intense, not that exclusive, and the GRMN will be more extreme. But it is very clear that that was the reason why they started doing this. They wanted to improve their sporty image. A couple of years ago, Akio Toyoda, the big boss, was speaking or was presenting something, and he asked some journalists in the audience what they thought of the car or Toyota or whatever. And one of them said that it was a bit boring. And well, he really didn't like that. So he decided that Toyota should be fun again. That's one of the reasons why they came with this car, because they wanted to make Toyota fun again. And of course we're getting the Supra as well, developed together with BMW. So there are some cool cars coming up. But this is a great start. I mean, you can really feel the amount of development that went into this car, making it handle like this, that torsion, limited slip, really pulling you to the inside of the corner. It works really well. And I mean, that supercharged 1.8 is just a joy to drive. It's so different from everything else. Mainly because this engine really has character. I mean, if you compare this to a turbocharged 1.6, it's just completely different. Okay, supercharger sound. So cool. And you can actually pull it all the way to 7,000 RPM. Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. Oh, that torsion differential really works. Whoa. Very, very, very nice. Alright, so I'm going to end it here. I think I covered it all. Oh, there's one more thing. So the sound of the exhaust and the supercharger is, you know, it is noticeable, it is very present. But apparently when they were developing this car, they allowed a couple of journalists to drive a pre-production model, and they actually said that it was too loud. And that is why they mounted a huge ass damper on it. So if I get out, I will once again, in the name of science, get out of the car and get on the floor for you. I mean, it is getting ridiculous how often I'm getting on the floor for you guys. But this is a silencer. So the exhaust comes from over there, the front. It goes right into this huge box, and then it comes from this box towards the central outlet. So I don't know which journalist they used or how grey their hair was, but it is a bit ridiculous. So that is it for this review of the Toyota Yaris GRMN Gazoo Racing, tuned by the Meister of the Nürburgring. I hope you enjoyed it. You can subscribe by clicking the big button right here. You can also check out this POV review of a Lexus LC500, and you can also check out this POV reviews playlist. You can also find us on social media, just search for AutoTopNL. Thanks guys, see you at the next one, bye.